Mr. Moore, before we begin, I just have to point out the shoes that you had on today.
What's with the shoes, man?
These are some cold kicks.
So what is it you like about the shoes?
That black and gold just stands out. In fact, that black, is that suede? Is that velvet?
It's velvet.
That velvet and the gold together, man, you just don't understand how that looks when you're walking down the street.
Well, you know, we had a conversation about casual elegance, and to be elegant sometimes is a thing of being dainty. To be elegant sometimes is a matter of choosing the right fabric. But on a hot day like today, it's almost like 95, almost 100 degrees. I want to be comfortable, but I still want to be impeccable. So by finishing off the wardrobe with this delicate slipper at the bottom of it, is a way of being casually elegant. So what you're responding to is sort of an overt expression of casual elegance. It's an overt expression of casual elegance. And often in the evening when a gentleman goes out and he's dressed in semi-formal attire, and Stubbs and Wooten, because Stubbs and Wooten makes a shoe like this, is at the bottom of that uniform or that outfit. It says something non-verbally about where you're coming from. And while some people might think it's pretentious, it has everything to do with elegance. So it's one of those fine points, or one of those things from my fashion history that pops up from time to time. People talk about it. So, you know, the other thing we've spoken about recently is this journey through fashion and what women are looking at when they check us out. And probably wouldn't be a bad idea to spend a couple of minutes considering what it is that takes the 21st century man over the top. Now, in most cases, when folks are discussing fashion, they're really not discussing you and I. They're discussing what they call tall, dark, and handsome, which is not tall, black, and handsome. So in looking at the tall, dark, and handsome figure, George Hamilton comes to mind, George Clooney comes to mind, Clark Gable comes to mind. Gentlemen from the dominant culture come to mind who are well-groomed. Today, being well-groomed is something totally different. And in most cases, it's not really well-groomed as much as it is up-to-date. So what do you do to get the reaction or the response that's in step with you've got it going on? What do you do? I think being original has everything to do with it, but also being able to maximize on what God gave you. I'm not a tall guy, and I'm not upset about not being tall, because as I was coming along, some of the men that impressed me the most were little giants. And when I read about Napoleon, I was surprised. When I saw Sammy Davis Jr. through the 60s and watched the way people were attracted to him, even his wife, Altravies, towered over him. My Brick towered over him. But it was the giant in the guy. And a well-dressed small man is dressed proportionally. You know, I want to put pants on that are too long. I don't want to put a jacket on that's too long. I don't want to put a shirt on that's overly huge. So dressing that package is important, and that's why tailors are important to a guy my size, and another reason why I learned how to tailor. Then you get real close to this whole idea of what is it that the female is looking at. And there's something primal about females being attracted to guys, or guys being attracted to females. Something primal. Men look at the face, but they go immediately to the midsection. So they're looking between the shoulders, and they're looking between the shoulders and the hip region. Women are probably looking at some of the same things also. You often read about this shape that goes from the shoulders out and then tapers down to the waistline. In a very primal or very primitive way, that's exactly what's going on. So if you're not achieving that on some level, then it may take that glance or that female's attention off to somebody who is. So in most cases today, I don't even go along with this thing about wearing a shirt on the outside. I still deal with the idea of tucking my shirt in, having a belt in, and working with that shoulders out, taper down. Then when it comes to the trousers, I don't work with this thing of having the real thin trouser on. I put something on that's going to be casual and comfortable. Fabric has got to be great. The line has got to be great, and it's got to fit. I mean, there's so much attention on fitting a particular way as opposed to fitting you. So men and women, they know when they're looking at a complete package when someone's walking down the street or when somebody's in the room. This idea about putting this pair of shoes on instead of wearing a pair of brown loafers this morning was all about being comfortable, but at the same time, being casually elegant. And that elegance and that sort of blaseness with which you put that presentation together is something that adds to what young people today call your swag. When I first heard that, it sounded kind of funny to me. And then I started watching the way young people were using the word swag. And so when you throw in the socks with the splash of color to it, when you throw in the belt that has a splash of color to it, that's you really working that swag piece. So today, with someone who really doesn't know me, I'm walking down the street with the Panama on, the linen shirt, the Super 100 trousers, which are very, very comfortable, and that shoe at the bottom, it just sort of touches the whole thing off. You got a package. So the lady that looks at that is finding out something about me in a nonverbal way. Other people that look at that are finding something else about me. And then, as you already know, in most cases you're not going to see anybody putting my combinations together because I'm coming from something old and something new. While the shoes may be fairly new, the idea of wearing a long sleeve shirt with the sleeves rolled up, not in a contemporary tight shirt, is something from the past, and it's worked generation after generation after generation. The colors. This color has been popular throughout the years, but it's the fabric when choosing this color that makes it go over the top. So that's a combination of a silk and linen. And then those trousers, that dark blue that comes off almost like black, is another form of elegance. So it was just a move to be comfortable today, and a move to non-verbally say, I'm putting my best foot forward. And with that, I rest my case.